Squeeze the neck. And today we are, I believe, we're in a place Walton on Thames in the lovely 360
Yeah.
with my new mate, Amr Elzahr. Did I say that?
Yes, 100%.
Good,
Very good.
nice, top
Good.
man.
Good. Very good pronunciation.
Good.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
as we said before, I got a bit of Egyptian in me
here
somewhere
you go,
along the line.
That's why, yeah.
I'm giving it away fresh from, well, not fresh from Egypt, but originally from Egypt.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are, mate, and tell us your story.
Okay, I'm gonna make it as simple as possible because I'm 46. I've been doing that since I was 5-6 years old, so it's a long story. I'm just gonna try to shorten it as much as I could. Yeah. So my whole family line is wrestlers. My dad is a wrestler. Uncles. My grandfather was a national coach for the national team in Egypt. Okay, that's back in the 40s, 50s. It's very, he passed away a long time ago. So I grew up with wrestling and never liked it.
No, I was going to say,
I never liked it.
The ears are good.
My dad never allowed this to happen.
Yeah.
He used to pull it out with the needle every time we spar or get in a halak competition or anything. He pull it out with the needle because he really hated the cauliflower ears because he had it and my uncles had. And somewhere back in the days, that was kind of degrading, and it looks like you're not posh, you're not well off, you're just from the working class kind of.
Like a poor kid with the ears.
Yes. So he never liked that. He said, no, you're not gonna have that. I didn't like it as well. It was not in fashion until these Dagestanis bring it back. But it wasn't like that. So it was kind of not a nice thing to have. So he always pulled it out with me. Anyways, I really didn't like wrestling because I grew up watching Van Damme and Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan movies, all the striking, cool stuff, flying and all that, and I was like, oh my God, this is so boring what I'm doing now. Just, grappling, take someone down. It's not as flashy, right? So I opened a subject with my dad and I said, listen, I want to do this kind of martial arts, Kung Fu back then. He said he used to call them pajama martial arts. No offense to anyone, really. That's what he passed away as well. So, but I really loved it, and I could see it as a cool thing to do, especially at school time and all that. Watching Kickboxer.
Yep,
remember
of course.
Kickboxer?
Famous film, innit?
Yeah, blood sport and all that. Anyways, started training with one of my friends in the backyard. Just showed me some cool kicks and all that, and I loved it so much. Anyways, he couldn't resist my dad. I was about 11. He said, okay, but you still have to do wrestling as well. So you're gonna do Kung Fu back then and wrestling. And I said to myself, I would say yes, then I would sleep from the wrestling. Wrestling training is hard. It's probably the hardest sport I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Is wrestling. It's so hard. And for a kid, it's boring as well. Plus, I lacked the power, the grip. I wasn't one of the strongest boys. I was kind of a skinny boy, so I didn't like it too much. Anyways, long story short, I started doing Kung Fu. And it was so cool. I liked the gi, the pajama, cool and all that. I used to do Wing Chun. So I started doing Wing Chun a couple of months and all that. Then an incident happened, changed the whole thing again, unfortunately. What happened is, the Kung Fu teacher, he was very, how do I say that? Bruce Lee, Miyagi style, all about, energy and, channel your energy and gi and all this bullshit stuff. So in one incident, we used to train the same place as the wrestling people. So we finish and the wrestling teams comes in, Anyway, the wrestling guy came in, which is I know because he's a friend of my dad, of course, and he asked the Kung Fu guy to move out. Then the Kung Fu guy kind of got slightly offended. So he is like, no, we're not leaving. The thing's heated up. Then, for my surprise, the Kung Fu guy high kicked the wrestler guy in the head. And as a kid, I was 9 or something, 10. I thought that's it. The wrestling guy is dead. Only to find that the wrestling guy just kind of, I don't know, tear him apart really. Like he took him down, he slammed him a few times. Then the Kung Fu team started fighting the wrestling team, and oh my God, it was a massacre for the Kung Fu team, of course. It was a nightmare. At that moment, I kind of retreated to the changing rooms, changed the Kung Fu gi thing to my wrestling suit and jumped in with the wrestling people. And the coach said to me, oh, you're here now, I can see why. And that's it. Yeah, I never done Kung Fu after that. Then a few years after was something introduced in Egypt. It's called Sandshu or Sanda. I don't know if you know. Of course,
yes, of course, Chinese kickboxing, right?
It's a Chinese kickboxing. The good thing about it that you are allowed to take down.
Right.
which was a big advantage to me as a wrestler who knew some kicks and some punches. So I liked that so much. Then my dad, he said, yeah, that looks like proper fighting, not like Kung Fu. And, we used to do like tiger and monkey and, all the Kung Fu panda shit. I'm not joking. This is real, yeah. Anyway, so I started doing Sandshu. I won straight 3 state tournaments, then three national tournaments after, so 6 in a row, undefeated for 6 years in a row. And I was like, probably I was 18 by the time.
Right. So young man now.
Yeah.
Now,
I won all these fights. Unfortunately, I never competed in wrestling. I was just like, we're doing the sparring and everything, but I never I never liked it anyways.
Right.
Now I love it, but yeah. But I'm coming from a background of wrestling. These Sanda fights was super easy for me because I double leg everyone, I suplex everyone.
Can you do full takedowns? It's not just like Thai boxing style where you trip them. You can actually
So
full blown.
in Sanda, your knee shouldn't touch the floor when you go a double leg.
Right,
You do
okay.
double leg standing, which is not a problem.
Nah,
as
it's
well,
easy, yeah. You can do
Plus, in any contact, when I grab anyone, that's it. He's flying. That's
Right.
it. Done. They don't like, and as well, you fighting people. Most people coming from a karate, taekwondo, and kickboxing background, they have nothing against it. They can't do takedowns. They can't defense takedowns. So it was super easy for me to fly people around. I loved it so much. Almost made it to the national team, but it was time for uni. So back in Egypt, uni and education is everything. So my family said, that's it, you're not competing again. You finish uni and do whatever you want. Went to uni, kept training at uni. For 1 tournament only, it was a kind of a fight night. So the champion of the champion of 1997, the champion of 1998 and all that, and they make like a fight night. Placed the second place, broke my foot, but it was fun. Yeah. Then after that, went to the army after, because it's compulsory in Egypt.
Right. National service, we call it here, right?
National service. Yeah, national service. Yeah. My dad used to be a lieutenant colonel in the army, but at that time he retired, and he had a lot of connection, all that, some corruption, of course. So he wanted to toughen me up, as if I'm not tough enough.
All them national titles,
So
bro.
he sent me somewhere to the borders.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's
Real
the border
toughen up,
between
yeah.
Egypt and Sudan. It was when we take a break for 3 nights, which is 72 hours. I don't have time to go back home because the trip will take me, because we can't travel in a civilian transportation. You have to take the military train, which would take 3 days to go back home. So I stayed
yeah,
in
you
there.
can't- right.
Anyway, six months there, and I was dying. And my uncle he's another army officer as well. He said, listen, the boy is dying there 6 months. Why are you doing that? Bring him back to Cairo. Put him in one of the military sports teams. Okay? The military sports team, the problem is I was going for wrestling, of course. And along the way, I've done some judo as well. While I was doing wrestling, I've done some judo. That judo was during the Sanda thing. So I can join both, doesn't matter. But the problem is both teams were full. The only sports team that they need people is boxing,
Right.
which is I have 0 experience in. So he said, you want to do boxing? We're going to put you in boxing, but you have to kind of build your way up because everyone there is a champion already. They take them to compete for the army. You know the military world tournaments and all that. I said, yeah, we'll try my luck. When I remember that coach/officer was brutal, man. He was brutal. Anyway, he said, are you a boxer? And I've been told to say yes because he's not going to accept me. He said, okay, step in the ring. I step in the ring, and he said, give me a shadow boxing round. I used to do Sanda, so I know some strikings, but I was bad, like really bad. He looked at me and said, oh, I don't know who is your connection, but you're so lucky because there is no way I can take someone like you. Anyways, you're going to learn along the way. Just fight your way through it. I said, okay, I'll do. Anyways, I can imagine like 19-year-old boys and 20-year-old boys there, already professional boxers, not professional, like amateur, but high-level boxing. And I'm like, I'm in a shark tank with them. They killed me. they killed me. I'm so lucky I didn't get my nose busted.
You want to go back to the front line at this point, right?
yeah, 100%. Yeah. At some point, I said, you know what? Send me back to my unit. I don't want to stay here. Anyways, I learned the hard way. The guys, like, one of the things he used to do is, he used to have like a very, very long stick, right? Like, you know this, what do you call it? Like a whip, yeah, like a whip, yeah. And he stands, and he's like in his 50s, smoker, big belly. You can't get around of him. I'm not joking, yeah. When this holds this long whip, standing down there. So we're doing the footwork first, okay? You do one mistake, he lashes you, like, and you can't say nothing. He's your command officer. He's your direct officer. You can't do nothing. He used to lash us like that. Anyways, I don't know how I survived that, but to be honest, which is appreciate this experience really, I learned some quality boxing. I won't say that I was anywhere near any of them, the boxers there, because they were like, which is one of them have another incident that I can tell you about, a very funny incident after the army. And but I got to at least have good basics in boxing.
Yeah.
Okay, that I can build upon after that. After that, left the army. I left Egypt. I went to another country, Kuwait, in the Middle East. It's very close to Dubai. Then I met my first kickboxing coach, which he was like a couple of years older than me. He's a very good coach. I would say that he's the best coach I ever had in my life. He was a proper K1 kickboxing, solid. He didn't know nothing about grappling, nothing about Sanda, nothing about Muay Thai. He's just K1, and he had like 20 wins under his wing, and he was really good. Trained with him for 6 years straight. At that time, I got married, got divorced, got remarried again. So I was not very eager to actually do like competition full time or anything like that. Before, when I was younger, that was my dream, but of course I couldn't. Anyways, then in 2006, that was a transition to Muay Thai. So back in the days, 2006, we didn't know anything in the Middle East. I'm talking about Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, all these countries. We didn't know what's Muay Thai. Even when we watched our friend Van Damme fighting in Thailand, we used to think that this was kickboxing.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
We didn't know what's Muay Thai. We were introduced to Muay Thai by one of the grandmasters. He was, that guy, he's an Arab guy, Lebanon. He lived in Thailand for like 13 years. Then he was a Crow, and he, Muay Thai, Crow Yai, something like that. Not very good with terminologies. He came and he said, you know what, let's start training people Muay Thai. I was one of the first people who like introduced to Muay Thai. Traveled to Lebanon, took a few courses with him. The guy was so good. I love the sport because it's more aggressive, more weapons to use. It was like perfect. I want to do that. But at the same time as well, I started watching UFC, which was very early on UFC, 2006, 2005 UFC.
So we're
and I was like, 2005, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking like Chuck Liddell's type
Chuck
days,
Liddell,
Randy.
Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell was my hero,
That's
Iceman.
right, yeah.
He was my hero. Randy Couture, what's his name? Wanderlei Silva.
Wanderlei Silva, of course,
yeah,
right.
and Pride and all that. I was like watching these fights, and I was trying to assess, so which style will win? Sometimes I say, oh, Muay Thai, look at Muay Thai, they win all the time. Then boom, a Jiu-Jitsu guy comes and kills them. Then another same Jiu-Jitsu guy got killed by someone who is doing Sambo.
Yeah.
Or someone who's doing, if you remember Sakuraba, I don't know if you know.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, that guy, Gracie Killer, this guy was.
There was a guy in my class this morning, shout out Way, he always wears a Sakuraba shirt. So yeah,
Was
shout
he?
out Way.
Sakuraba. That guy was brilliant. You know,
Yeah.
he won over every Gracie ever happened. He won over them.
Gracie Killer, they used to call him,
Yeah,
didn't
Gracie
they?
Killer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I was like, what is that art that it doesn't end when you flow on the floor? I didn't know anything about Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't know the word Jiu-Jitsu. I knew that, like, you know, judo, wrestling, submission wrestling, and that's it.
Yeah.
Anyways, at that time, so I started doing Muay Thai, started training Muay Thai. So my coach, he turned his gym from kickboxing to fully Muay Thai, and we start like, you know, like training Muay Thai style. That was in 2006. At that time, 2006-07, I used to work as a graphic designer, art director, kind of. I was not like, yeah. So my company kind of relocated me in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, right.
Abu Dhabi at that time was the boom of Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
We started teaching Jiu-Jitsu at schools as well.
ADCC, right?
Yes, ADCC,
Which is
of
Abu
course,
Dhabi
yeah.
Combat Club.
Yeah, yeah. It was, what's his name? Bless him. What's his name? I love him so much. Cyborg.
Cyborg, okay,
Cyborg was one of the people who started the whole thing in there.
Right.
So I was searching for a place to do Muay Thai, and one of my friends, white belt Jiu-Jitsu, he's black belt now, of course. Okay. He said, "Oh, what are you doing? It doesn't work in Jiu-Jitsu fight. You know what? Jiu-Jitsu, I can do this." I said, "What's Jiu-Jitsu?" So he showed me like a clip on YouTube. We didn't have smartphones that smart. So he showed me on a computer. I said, "Wow, that's a gay sport, man. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? I don't want to do that and roll with guys and, you know, like get in a doggy style position with them. I don't like that." He said, "Oh, you say that, but if you do it, you get killed." I said, "Oh, I can kill you all in your team. This is what you're doing. I'm doing Muay Thai, I'm a wrestler, and I'm doing judo, and I'm doing sanda. What can you do to me?" He said, "Come with me to the class." Anyways, we went to his gym in Abu Dhabi. Huge, massive gym. Everything there is massive, massive, massive. When I say massive, it's like a stadium, right? Football stadium. Then he introduced me to that gentleman, I can't remember his name. He was 62 at that time. With all white hair. He was about 55 kg max, with a belt that I thought it's white, but it's not. It's a black, but it was so many times with ears and everything. And I was like, okay. He said, "That's the coach." He was very respectful. He wasn't Gracie. He was, I can't remember his name really, but he's one of the well-known coaches who started the whole Abu Dhabi thing. Then he said, "Oh, this is the coach." He introduced me to the coach, and he said, my friend, being cheeky, he said, "Oh, he doesn't believe in Jiu-Jitsu." And that coach, he asked me, "So why don't you believe in Jiu-Jitsu?" I said, "I don't know. For me, it looks like it's not a real fighting. Why do you guys lay on the floor and roll like that? Fighting, you stand and bang. That's how I see fighting." He said, "So you can take anyone down, as take them out, not take them down, take them out." I said, "No, I don't claim that, but I will definitely, if someone is just knows how to lay on the floor and all that, I will kick their ass. Of course, I'll kick their ass." He said, "Okay." I was saying it very respectfully, by the way. I'm not saying it in yeah. I was saying it very respectfully. Then the guy said, "Okay, after the session, right? We can roll, me and you." I didn't understand what's rolling, and I was like, "Rolling? Why do I roll?" We can roll, me and you. And I can show you a few things. I said, "Yeah, all due respect." Anyways, I was training with the white belt. You have to understand. So I killed them all. Again, I'm a wrestler. You can't get anything of me. I did judo, and I have very good, you know, control of my position. All that. They couldn't do a takedown on me. They couldn't do a submission on me. So I was like, my ego is like, okay, I'm right. This is bullshit. That's not. This is Aikido. Why are we doing it? That's nothing. Anyways, finished. He said, "Yeah, you wanna do it?" I said, "Yeah." "What do you wanna? What's the rule?" He said, "Oh, you like a sparring." I said, "Yeah, okay, we can." Then I said, "So what do I put in my, like, do I get gloves?" He said, "Do whatever you like. If you wanna go bare knuckles, go bare knuckles." And I was like, this confidence is a bit, you know, worrying. Like I'm like anxious. What's that? He said, "Yeah. You wanna have MMA gloves?" I never had MMA gloves before. I said, "Yeah." "The one with the fingers?" He said, "Yes, the one with the fingers." "Yeah, put the one with the fingers." He said. So I said, "What I'm like allowed to do?" He said, "Everything." I said, "So I can punch, kick, elbow, knee, everything?" He said, "Do whatever you like."
Oof, confident man.
And he's 62.
Yeah.
And I was like 27 or something.
And how much did you weigh? You said he was 55 kilos.
I was
how big
about
are you?
70, 75
big difference.
kg.
Big
Huge
difference.
difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
And he was like shorter as well.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." And in my head, I said, "Okay, now if I start and I go easy on the guy, okay, he might like pull something on me. So I will have to, with all due respect, tell him that I'm gonna go hard, and he has to expect like hard sparring." So I told him, "Okay, sir, I really respect you, and you're like the age of my dad, but if we're gonna spar, I will have to go hard." He said, "Yeah, go on." I was like, "Okay." It was very funny, really. It was me being very looked like a peacock there. I'll try to do the whole thing with as much respect as I can, but you can't be very respectful when you tell someone you're gonna beat them up. Like,
right.
Yeah, as much as you
there's
can.
Limits.
Yeah, there's limits. Yeah. Anyways, that was funny. Anyways, started the fight, and he went for a double leg, and of course, easy for me to sprawl him. I'm a wrestler, yeah, and put him on his back, and I was like, yes, he's on his back. Then I remembered all these videos I used to see in UFC, like ground and pound. I was in his guard. Punch, gave him the first punch. He moved his head. Then I don't know what happened, and things start to fade away. slowly to darkness until boom, he triangled me in a second.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what's tapping as well.
Right,
But
okay, of course not.
I didn't know, but I was like kind of, it was some ignorance mixed with some arrogancy mixed with some pride. I was like here, then everything started to fade away and boom. Okay. When they woke me up, the first thing I did, I said, how do I subscribe? How do I join here? Yeah. Front desk, do your subscription. So I trained with them for the time I've been there, which is about a year and a half. And it was fascinating. But at that time, we didn't have a lot of no-gi. It was not kind of, well, it was known, but it was not like very popular.
Yeah, I think a lot of back in the day, like Brazilians used to look down on it, right?
Yeah.
Gi was
100%
like everything.
strict, yeah. Okay. He didn't like. I remember he didn't teach us any heel hooks, any leg locks. All that was it was like not until Eddie Bravo, of course. That was the jiu-jitsu. Then I went back to the country I was in. I kept on working. Then they announced the first Muay Thai, amateur Muay Thai regional competition, which is the first Arab regional competition. And for that, I managed to take a couple of weeks off and flew to Thailand. I camped there for like 3 weeks, which is very hard for me to do because at that time I was married, I was working, I'm expecting a kid and all that, so it was a bit hard for me to do.
Serious dedication.
Serious dedication, yeah. And I went, I trained, well, you know Thai training, I trained in Phuket top team.
I've been there, yeah, it's a great
You've
place.
been there?
Yeah, I've been there.
Phuket
Phuket
top team,
top team, yeah.
But that was
very old school, isn't it? Like,
old
very
school,
like spit and
school.
sawdust, tough place.
That was 2008.
All right, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't as fancy as it looks now.
I went there, I think I went there
quite
2014.
simple.
I was 2014.
I would say
there.
it was quite basic back in the days, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's a fancy place now.
Yeah.
But I got a taste of actual Muay Thai sparring as well because I never done a full Muay Thai sparring before that. In the gym back in where I train, it's too hard to hit an elbow or knee to the face because we're sparring, which is I understand, of course. So when I was in Thailand, we used to have like the elbow pads and headgear and everything. So we used to have like this sport. I love the sport. Anyways, I came back and they cancelled tournament.
Oh, so you've been all the way there.
The authorities back in the days didn't approve it because it's too violent.
Oh,
I'm not joking. Yeah.
I know.
They didn't
It
approve
happens.
it. They said, "Oh no, this is too violent. We can see like people like teeth are flying and all that. We don't want to do that." Anyways, few months after, I started smoking and I gained weight and I was just I'm done. My fighting days are done. Then few weeks after, they cancelled it. I got a call from the grandmaster saying, "Do you want to come for a ref to take like a ref certification?" Like
for Muay Thai?
Yeah, for Muay Thai. You learn how to do. I said, yeah, I would love to do that. So I'm going, me and my coach to do that. And I'm in my suit and everything, and I'm smoking and all that. So we were reffing for the kids.
Right.
We reffed for the kids. Then the next day, they're going to start the adults. Then that grandmaster came to me and he said, why are you not fighting? I said, well, I went, I trained, I came, and I missed it. He said, no, it's still time. Sign yourself up tomorrow. I said, oh, no. You see this Marlboro red here? I can't fight. He said, oh, just do it. He said, I'm not going to give you the ref qualification if you don't fight. I was like, okay, fuck the ref qualification. I'm not going to go with this monster. I'm not prepared, really. I used to train, but I train like once a week. And
yeah.
Then he said, yeah, I know. A lot of people, they get scared when they see the ring. And I was like, are you talking to me? Are you serious? And my coach back then, he said, don't listen to him. He's just winding you up. Yeah. He's trying to push you to fight, but it's not real. It's not real. Don't fight, let's go home. I said, hold on, wait a minute. And when I walked to him, I said, sir, are you saying that I'm scared? He said, no, it's not only you. There's a lot of people, they pull out before the fights. That's normal. I've seen a lot of fights, and I know fear when I see it. And I was like, fuck that, take the suits. I am weighing in now, I'm fighting. And my coach was like, oh, you're gonna get killed. And I got killed, to be honest. Anyways, next day, when it was, the amateur competition, you can fight 2 or 3 fights in one night.
Yeah, of course. You win, you go through all that kind
Exactly.
of shit, right?
Yeah. So I had 3 fights in one night. Right? And I was super lucky. First fight ended with, which is a habit record, thankfully, but because back then we used to have this Sony Ericsson phone.
Of course, yeah.
It records 10 seconds only. So under this 10 seconds, my first fight was a knockout.
Brilliant.
Back fist, boom.
It's like a freebie, so your body's healthy. You're good.
100%, nothing. Second fight was the worst fight probably, but it's just the boy I was fighting, I'm saying the boy because back in the days I was like in the 20s, I was fighting, he was so strong, but he was teleporting everything, like you can see it coming from a mile. So I had 3 rounds still with him because I was not in shape, but advantage went for me, so I went advantage. Last fight was the fight that put me out of fighting forever, which is I lost a rib injury, a broken tooth, you can't see because I'm wearing a denture, and the ACL in one fight.
In one fight?
One fight, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so in this fight, I swallowed my tooth.
Yeah.
I had a knee, so I was breathing heavily. I was like, my mouth guard was a bit out, and the guy was clinching me in the corner of the ring, and his knees. One of the knees came here, broke the rib, the other knee, boom, came here, so I swallowed the tooth.
What about the ACL? What happened with that?
So the ACL, that was the last, I was going for a high kick, and he kicked the other leg from the outside.
Oh, so bad one, yeah.
Landed, boom. Funny enough, I won the fight.
Won the fight?
I won the fight for 2 reasons. First, he got 2 warnings because he kicked me in the balls twice.
Right,
That's
okay.
1. 2, apparently, I deliver more significant shots than him. Apparently. Listen, I can't remember nothing.
Yeah.
What I remember is I can see blood, tears, and I'm moving, ghosts. I don't know what I'm punching. Apparently, I punched him a lot. I landed a lot of shots that, according to my coach, anything you can hold him responsible for that, not me. I delivered. I think what happened is, because Muay Thai guys mostly, they are not really into boxing too much.
Right, more kicks in it.
Yeah, and elbows and all that. So I can't remember that he didn't have even the Thai guard, which is here, and he
Long guard.
No. He was here all the time. I remember seeing his face going back a lot to the back. I think, thanks to my boxing coach in the army, I punched him a lot in the face because I can see his face with the blood as well after. Like I can see his face is fucked after the fight. But I think I delivered. I'm 100% sure I haven't delivered enough kicks, but 100% I punched him a lot in the face, and that's it. So we won. I think it was 10-9, all rounds and all that. But I left on a stretcher.
Yeah.
Because when that was the last kick, I got it here and I went. When I stood up, my neck was like a chewing gum, like that.
Yeah.
Couldn't stand. So we finished the fight, and I stood down. I said, I can't stand. So I went to the hospital, stayed there for 2 nights. With all these injuries, I start thinking, what the fuck am I doing to my life?
At least you won though, right? It could have been worse if you'd have lost.
Why am I doing this? Like, why? What's the point of that? I'm not. You understand? We didn't get paid.
You're not getting paid millions of pounds,
no,
right?
No. You need to pay to fight.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You need to pay a fee for the tournament to let you fight. So I was like, I'm almost 30 now.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a baby on the way. Okay, I'm married.
The fuck am I doing?
What the fuck am I doing? Is this? Why the hell would I fight someone that I don't even know?
Because the guy said you were scared.
Yeah. But in general, like I started seeing the fight business differently. Like it doesn't make any sense that I step in the ring fighting someone I hold no grudge to, no beef between us. I don't hate him, and I'm not gonna get paid.
Yeah.
So,
when you're not getting paid is when it's
yeah,
tough.
but this is when you stop being a fighter, when you start using your head, you're not a fighter. I say to my fighters all the time, as long as you're nuts, you're crazy, you're a fighter. As soon as you become sensible, reasonable, you're not. That's it. As soon as you start counting the cost, you're not a fighter.
Right.
And nothing wrong with that. It's just we evolve.
It's the evolution of life.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I was 30, and I was like, I'm a family man, and I'm not getting paid. I actually pay a lot of money for camps and on my healthcare and all that. It's not. This shit is not free. So I thought, you know what? Maybe that's it. After that, I decided. I told my coach, I think that was it. I don't want to fight again. He said, yeah, I understand that, fully understand. I think you should start like coaching and all that. You got the talent of showing people and all that. only to some, life incidents happened, so I had to move to Canada.
Okay, you've been all over, man.
Yeah, so I moved to Canada. That was 2010. Then I was in Burlington, Canada, and across the street, Tap Out Gym.
Yeah,
MMA.
yes.
Remember Tap Out?
Yeah, of course.
They were big in the back.
Everyone used to wear the vest.
Tap Out,
Everyone had the
100%,
vest.
yeah, they were very successful. Yeah. And I was like, what the hell is that? I can see rings and can see cage and all that. So I walked in and I said, what are you guys doing here? He said, oh, you didn't know what's that? That's Tap Out. I said, what's Tap Out? He said, oh, well, Tap Out, blah, blah, blah. The marketing person really sold it good to me. And he said, you're a fighter? I said, no, I'm not. I just used to do some fighting, but I'm not. He said, yeah, you can have a lot of fun with the boys. So I went there and I trained with the guy, Jake Abraham. He was a background of a Sambo.
Oh, okay. Tough sport.
That guy, he was in the Canadian forces, and he was abroad in Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
And he did some Sambo there. Oof. So, and he was originally like a wrestler. So he came with a good combination. So I trained with him for about 8 months, where got the first. I never fought, of course, but I just got the MMA mentality, the full MMA mentality, full MMA sparring and all that. Then I moved back to Kuwait, and I started my own gym since then. I started my own gym 2012, and since then until now. I moved to the UK 7 years ago, about 7 years ago. Yeah, but since then, that's the whole story.
Man, I mean, I think that was the easiest introduction of anyone I've asked. Normally people give me like a 3-word answer. You gave me like a whole story.
I have the whole story,
which was great. But like going back to like Canada and stuff that in 2010, which we'll come to. But before that is like when you had your injuries from that last fight. Like ribs and teeth, they are what they are, right? You can get over them. But ACL was a motherfucker, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was the recovery like on that?
I never had the operation.
You just got on with it?
Wow. Until now.
Really? Just carried on?
Wear a tough knee, strengthen my hamstring and my quads, and that's it. Yeah.
Why was that?
Why was that? First of all, I was so busy. You have to remember that all these fights is leaves from the company. I take a leave and I go fight, and I come back and another leave because I need to recover. So I didn't have the balls to tell them, sorry, I need another like 4 or 5 months it will be like at least 5 weeks operation with the recovery. Then you can go with a stick and all that with a crouch. So I said, you know what, leave it for now. Then after that, I was about to start my first business, my first martial arts gym, and I was like, maybe it's not the right time now to do it. Then I started the gym and it was a big failure. I lost all my money, lost all my clients and all that, as usual, of course, when you start your first business. Then someone told me, listen, I know a good doctor can do it for you. I went to the doctor and the doctor said, you can do the surgery, but with your line of work, this could snap again. Easily.
Thanks, doc. Yeah.
I said, oh, lovely. So what do you suggest? He said, I suggest you still do it, but you be careful. I said, be careful how? So I went to a physiotherapist and he said to me, listen, a lot of people, they have, unless you're going to go compete again, there is no need to do it. To be honest, I'm not sure if this was the good advice or a bad advice, but he kept me going just by strengthening the muscles and all that. So I didn't go through the operation. I still have some pain here, but I can wrestle and fight and
that's all right then, yeah. A little bit of pain's okay.
Been 20 years, as you said, almost.
Almost 20 years, madness,
almost 20 years,
Well, because the thing, I've never had it, touch wood, but good. From what I've heard from people that have had, because obviously Jiu-Jitsu and stuff is common, isn't it? But like, most people say it's like a pop painful, then the pain goes away and it's just unstable. Is that kind of what it's like?
Well, I had 3 pops in one go. I had like tuck, tuck. I can hear tuck, tuck like that. So it was the ACL and the lateral ligament as well.
Oh, wow. So it's a bad one.
It's bad, yeah. But yes, in few days, the swelling will go away. Then if you wrap it, you can still walk a bit. Then after that, you can do sport. And I'm the big proof for this. Yes.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Because you know what? Like, if you go back 10,000 years and you pop that, or not, sorry, 10,000. Let's go back 200 years. You
have to keep on. You
just
have to keep going. Yeah.
And it's working for you.
It's not only that. You'll have to walk a lot of miles a day to get food.
You can't go to the shop.
Oh yeah, you can't go to a shop. Yeah, we are so privileged. We are so privileged.
Yeah, exactly.
We are so privileged.
Well, that goes back to the saying of like, I'm going to butcher butcher it, but you know, like soft times make soft
100%,
men, hard men,
100%.
hard times, all that stuff.
I believe in this so much, yeah.
Yeah, and like when you go back now to sort of like when you was in Canada, like 2010, this is when you've got your injury, right?
No, I got my injury in 2010 in the fight.
Yeah, and then Canada's
fight.
after,
Then
right?
I went Canada.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. So afterwards,
no, I was fine.
you're fine by then.
I was actually sparring so well that the guy, Jake, he said, "Why don't we put you in an amateur fight?" And I said, "No, man, I'm a family man now. I'm not gonna fight again." But I was so good in sparring. I was like really doing good, especially with suplex and all that. I love suplex. I suplex everyone and all that. So it was fine. Yeah. Just a tiny like you know, I would say not even pain, just uncomfort after the sparring, and that's it. Yeah. But it's getting worse now, but
that's all right. Stay young, bro. Stay young. Yeah. But it's one of the things. Like if you're in martial arts, you know what it's like. There's always something anyway. It doesn't matter. You're always gonna have something. You're always gonna wake up in pain in some way.
I always say that to my boys when they spar, or my kids. We're like, "Oh, it hurts here." I said, "We're not doing ballet here.
Yeah.
This is not a dance class.
What you signed up for.
You know what you signed up for. This is martial arts. I'm not saying I'm gonna kill you in class, okay? I'm against like hard sparring and all that, but you have to expect a certain amount of pain and misery, because you're gonna get to go to a class and you get knocked out with someone, or someone, you do jiu-jitsu, he taps you like 10 times in a row. You'll have to expect some misery comes with the sport. This is how you prevail. This is how you become better. Don't come here and think, "Oh, I'm gonna win everything and life is good." It doesn't work like that.
It definitely doesn't work, especially in martial arts. And even if you win, you get hurt. Like you said, you won that fight, you're still fucked up. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, but it's just, I understand, because if you got injured and you win, it's still like, but if you get injured when you lose, and lose as well. I got knocked out once in a fight due to the mats. The mats were not like, so my leg kind of, I'm not saying that I was a great fighter, and I was never a great fighter. I'm just a good fighter. But I just kind of slipped, lean forward, and the guy like soccer kicked me, football kicked me, and knocked me out. Okay, another knockout when I was in the boxing training. The coach knocked me out. An uppercut knocked me out, lights out. Yeah. So the thing is, you get injured and you win, it's kind of a sweet pain.
Yeah.
But you get injured and you lose, tells a lot about your personality if you can come over and fight. And I have about, back in the days when I was in Kuwait, I had 7, 8 professional fighters who fought from PFL to Brave to Abu Dhabi Warriors. Some of them, they're still title holders until this moment, okay? And I had a lot of amateur fighters. I can tell about the fighter after the loss, not after the win.
Right.
A win is a win. I don't look at them. I don't consider someone a champion from a win. I consider them a champion when they lose and they come next day to the gym. That's something. This is probably not only me. All martial arts coaches, they know that.
Yeah.
If you lose and you still show up after, you are a champion. Or a champion material, at least.
Yeah. A real fighter, right?
Yeah, you can invest in that and become a world champion.
Yeah.
But if you lose and you're out, then it was never for you.
Of course, we see that all the time, right?
Yeah, we see that all the time,
How many people you see have one fight, lose, never come back, and like, you know.
To be honest, in here in the UK, I have few fighters, but one of them, he lost his first 2 bouts. And I thought, you know what, I'm not gonna, don't get me wrong, but again, going back to the privileged life we have.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that people are softer. That's not the point. I've seen a lot of tough fighters. I've seen a lot of tough fighters, but I haven't seen a lot of tough people. Okay. Because you could be a good boxer, you could be a champion, but you're still not as tough as a person.
Yeah.
Okay. When you can actually go through misery, adversity, and come from the other side. Most people won't. So that boy, I was about to tell him, you know what, okay, because I can see how miserable he is. He got first fight, he went all the way, he lost, fine. Second fight, he got TKO, ground and pound, which is a bit, especially the ground and pound, you feel a bit humiliated.
Yeah.
Okay? You knock out, then you wake up next day, okay, but when you get ground and pound, you're still conscious, and you can't stop that beast who's bounding you. It's just a bit, so I feel sorry for him. But honestly, he came back and he said, "No, I'm going to fight again." And I respect that. And he won his last fight, which is, it was a big achievement, yeah.
It's funny when you say that, like, because I remember my coach told me a story once. I don't even know if it's true. I probably is knowing him, but it was, I'd lost one night, and I was in a boxing match, and we was driving back, and he was telling me about a kid. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was like, he'd lost. I think he'd lost his first 16 fights in a row. 16 amateur boxing matches, so whatever, but. He lost 16 and he carried on and he ended up being on the Great Britain team and representing England and all that kind of stuff. And he came through it. And you know,
like, little
story,
16.
16's a lot. 16's a lot of fights, isn't it? Like, he was points and stuff.
He's another breed.
Do you know what I mean? That's another, like, because, to lose 16 in a row, that's
to lose
severe.
To lose a fight
yeah.
could affect you forever. And
100%.
you never come back the person you were before, or you never come back and fight again. To lose one fight, to lose 16 is something, Yeah, it's just, the point is you never give up. So that fighter of mine, I was almost already told him, that's it. But because he said, I want to fight again, and he has the qualities. He's got like good qualities in him. I said, yeah, okay, we do it. And he said, I don't want to say it, but if I lose this fight, I will leave the sport. I said, I don't think you should think like that. Just focus on your win. Yeah. And he actually won. You've done really good. Yeah.
There you go. Bosh. He'll be like fucking UFC one day. We'll get him on here.
Yeah.
But like when you was in Canada, like 2010, that was sort of like what, the prime time of Georges St. Pierre, I would imagine too, right?
That was the perfect. And actually, I traveled from Toronto to Montreal, and I had a seminar for 1 week, so I attended the seminar.
Right.
He's my idol.
Is that right? Yeah.
For me, he's the best fighter in the sport. Not only because his style, it's just because his personality as well. I love the guy. Yeah.
He does it the right way, doesn't he?
Yeah, trained with Firas as well at that time.
Really? Wow.
Because Firas is originally Syrian, so we speak the same language. So
is that right?
Yeah.
And what's that like training with them guys?
Believe it or not, it's not as flashy as you'd expect it to be.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of a normal session.
Yeah. Basics. Do they stress basics a lot? Yeah.
And even when I see them training themselves, I didn't see anything flashy. It's just the mentality.
Right. Okay.
That was the biggest effect on me. It's the mentality. The mentality about, pushing through adversity. Because how much can you give in a seminar?
Right. Not a lot, right?
Few round kicks, few takedowns, we all know that already.
And we've all been to seminars as well, like I'm sure you have, where you sit there and it teaches you a million things, and after it's like a 4-hour seminar, and you're like,
what? What did he say?
Let me go home. Let me go home.
Yeah. Is in this seminar, but to be honest, this seminar was very active.
Right.
So he didn't talk a lot. He just showed more. But what I'm saying is, it was basic stuff: double leg takedown, single leg, 2-on-1, 1-on-2, lateral drop. It's just like few basic things. It's just that you're training with the legend. You're paying for that.
Yeah.
But again, to be honest, I was not after technicality. Mm-hmm. At that time, my goal in life was to make fighters, and I did. And I wanted to see how he trains as a fighter, how his coach dealing with him. I couldn't see much, of course, but the few glimpses I've seen there, how he supports him. So one of the times, which is stuck in my head until this moment, he was sparring with someone. I think he was double his weight. Jiu St. Pierre was sparring with someone, double his weight. That was after the seminar time. I was just one of these sticky people who wants to like learn more and stay more geek kind of. And that guy, he's Jiu St. Pierre friend. I can't remember his name. He started fighting with him. He's a black guy. He was
Francis Carmont, maybe. Yes. Bosh.
That's it. Yeah. He's much bigger than him.
Yeah. He fought in UFC as well.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. He was sparring with him. And every time Jiu St. Pierre attempted an attack on double leg, that guy just like flick him, just like that. He doesn't even he doesn't sprawl, no hip pump, just poop like that. Yeah. And I can see the frustration in his face. And then in between the rings, Firas told him, he said, it doesn't matter how many times you're gonna try. Okay? You keep trying, you get there one day. Don't stop, don't give up. I mean, again, you can hear this from anywhere. It's just, I don't know, it left some impact on me that I'm watching, like the way he's watching his sparring, as if he's in a fight for us, watching Jiu St. Pierre, as if he's in a fight. That's before, by the way, he was to Jackson Wick, to Greg Jackson, before that.
Yeah.
Okay? And I can see that he cares about all the details. He had a note with him and he was writing things. I was like, wow, I want to do it. I want to become like that. Not like Jiu St. Pierre, too late for me, but like for us. I want to coach people like that. And Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because you say about Georges St. Pierre. Georges St. Pierre was one of them ones that I used to watch a lot of videos on, like more his training and stuff. Because he always used to do like gymnastics and like he used to do like
he's very athletic.
Very athletic. Yeah, but he said something once and it stuck with me. And it was like how how fighters train and they've got like for example, you're fighting for a UFC world title.
Right.
5-minute rounds. They're training like 8 5-minute rounds. And he said, and I'll butcher it what he said exactly, but it was like something along the lines of, I train 5 rounds because I need to know how I can push for 5. So if I'm fighting for 5, I don't train for 8.
It makes sense.
And it was like so simple, but simple things.
That's what I'm saying. Is that these few simple things that motivate you or give you insights, that's something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. It was a very good experience. We had a lot of because Jake, our coach back then, he had a lot of experience in Sambo, and he had some teammates with him from Sambo, so it was kind of style that I liked over Jiu-Jitsu. I love Jiu-Jitsu and everything, but the mindset of Sambo that you're always in a dominant position. So in Jiu-Jitsu, guys, pull guard and all that, that guy wouldn't let us do this. He used to say all the time, you always be in a dominant position, because in life, if you are in a street fight or in a real battle, you will be dominant. You want to be dominant. That's what I taught my fighters. And back in the days in Kuwait, we never used to train Jiu-Jitsu. We just trained Jiu-Jitsu for MMA. Yet, we won a lot of national Jiu-Jitsu tournament back then, because I think the mentality of you always fight for dominant position. Okay, I'm not saying that we won over black belts. We did fight one of my fighters. He was a blue belt back then, and he won over a brown belt in a grappling match in a cage, because he was so dominant. He was so aggressive and dominant. And this is what I like. I don't like the mentality of Jiu-Jitsu of lay and pray. Okay? Lay down your back and pull guard and all that. I want to be in a dominant position, because this is a fight at the end of the day. You don't want to go in the street and lay down your back.
Ever.
So I really like this, stuck in my head since Jake, that you always fight for a dominant position. And we used that, and it worked.
Matt, I believe in it 100%. When I teach, I'm always saying, I always say there's no defense, it's just being safe and attack, because I was taught, I can't speak for him, but the great Lubo Kumbrov, wrestling coach I had from Bulgaria, he installed that in me massively. It was always like, there's no like your go, my go, or like you're defending. It's always safe and attack. And it works, man. I believe in that.
100%. You put the pressure all the time. This is your goal. You cannot like, I'm against that mentality of, I'm a counter-attacker. How long can this last for? Okay. How many shots you're gonna miss before you counter-attack and you get one in? No. You should be everything, but on top of all, you should be pressure all the time. This is how I see it, at least.
Well, I mean, Mike Tyson was basically an aggressive counter-puncher, right? He used to make you miss as he came forward.
The greatest boxer ever lived.
I believe so, my guy. Look, we'll stay friends forever after this one, man. We're going to stay friends for this one.
He's the guy from first minute to the last second. He is in.
I believe so, and people will say he wasn't that good and whatever, but I believe in his prime. I think the late 80s version of Mike Tyson would have beaten anybody, and it sounds like you're in agreement.
I can't remember when was Mike Tyson not good.
Right.
Even when he fought that clown, Rately, when he fought the clown.
58 years old.
58 years old. He still outperformed him.
Well, by the way, just for context, Mike Tyson's the same age as my dad, right?
There you go.
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
This guy's almost 60 and he's in the ring and he's in shape and he's boxing. Come on.
Animal.
I'm against the whole thing. I'm against the whole thing because I think it's bad for his legacy. But I assume that he wants the money. I think because.
But you know what? With him as well, specifically, I think he just still wants to fight. He just still wants to go. I think he wants one more go. I think if you listen to him talk on podcasts and stuff, I think with him it was like, one more try. Let's do this one more time.
Stuff in the basement.
There's stuff in the basement. But it's tough in it because, like, I know he's 58, but in here he ain't, is he? He's still him.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? He's still a lunatic, and I think like where he starts
getting
in
he's
shape.
an absolute lunatic. That's for sure.
But when you know what it's like yourself, when you start getting in shape, like.
The
music starts playing in your head, doesn't it? You start going, you know what, I can do this. You know?
That's what I'm saying. When I was in Canada, I was 31, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I give another shot? Why don't I give it? Thanks to my wisdom, and I said, no, you're gonna get yourself killed with these monsters. You have one leg basically, and you are a responsible family man who needs to like provide.
That's the difference, right? When you got family, it's different.
That's it. Yeah.
That's when it comes around a bit. But what brought you to England?
My ex, she got offered a job here with the British government. She used to work with the British government back in Kuwait, and she's a Canadian citizen. And she used to work with the British government back in Kuwait. Then they offered her a job here, and we had to do the hard, almost impossible move, and we moved. Yeah. It was too hard for me.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, but you're here now. And
I'm here now. Yeah.
We're lucky enough, as I say, to be sitting in this gym today.
I'm here now. Yeah.
But like, what's like life like now in terms of coaching and stuff? Are you a full-time coach? Is that
I'm a full-time coach. Been full-time coach for the past 2 years and a half now. I used to work in the gym before.
Yeah.
Fitness trainer, then assistant manager and all that. Then I quit and I started my own kind of martial arts team.
Nice.
I have a very big team now, thank God. And
it's an MMA team, is it?
It's an MMA team, yeah. We do just MMA style kind of. I'm not like specialized in something.
That's good.
So we do everything, yeah.
I
got few fighters. We have like now 4 fighters. They won. Some of them won 3 fights in a row. Some I have girls as well, which is something I never trained back in Kuwait. It was not that easy back then. Right. Now it is, but back then I never trained girls to compete. We have, so I trained girls here to compete, and the 2 girls they won the first 2 fights.
Yes.
One of them is a coach in this gym now.
Brilliant. Nice.
Yeah.
That's good, because like in my time since I started doing any kind of martial arts, like the amount of girls that are in it is massive, right? Like when I started, I've said this on here before, like it was 1 girl in the gym and that was it. Like now it's crazy.
Back in Kuwait, we always used to have this one headed yet shy girl who's there because she doesn't care about anything. She still wants to train, but that's it.
Yeah, right.
Now in there, you have a lot of champions there, girls, and they're fighting all levels. They're fighting PFL now.
Yeah, cool. It's a real option now.
From there, I'm saying from there, yeah.
So it's a real option now, and you can fight for a living now. It's different.
It is, it is.
But like, what's the future hold for your team, mate? Are you like, these are people that are ambitious of having a career? Is it?
So, if I'm honest, at the moment, I don't have a lot of people who are like looking forward for big fights, but I have people from abroad, from back my old team. In 3rd of May, we have a tournament. We have a fight in Aachen, Germany.
Nice.
GFC.
Okay,
yeah, GFC. So we have a fight there. My fighter, he's a super heavy weight fighter, 135 kg.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Big boy.
2 meters guy. So.
What's his name?
Abdullah, the Arabian stallion.
Oh, that's a good name.
He's gonna fight. Yeah, he's gonna fight in Germany in 3rd of May.
Nice.
He got 6-1.
Yeah, nice.
So he won 6 fights, only lost 1, and he's going for this boat because he is being contacted by Cage Warrior as well. You know, the problem is you won't find a lot of heavyweight in MMA. It's too hard.
Not that big. Yeah, that's tough.
No. Yeah. That big, 130, doing MMA is like rare, very rare. So he was being contacted by Cage Warrior. Hopefully goes well. So we're waiting for this fight to happen. We're flying to Germany end of this month to get him ready. And yeah, we're gonna fight. We'll see. So I have a lot of fighters from back my old team. Here now, I got a few fighters, but I don't have someone who's like, serious enough yet to go up notch. I had one girl I could see, like she used to be, that I told you about her. She's a brilliant fighter really. And I could see a UFC future now. She got everything. Even tattoos and everything. She's like, in it. But, life is not,
Right.
Yeah, I think she's fell out of the sport now. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's tough sport, isn't it, man?
It is tough sport.
And life happens, doesn't it?
It is tough sport. The toughest thing about the sport that you're not doing it full time.
Yeah, that exactly. I was just going to say, because you're not making enough money for it to be.
You don't make any money.
Like if you've got to train, you know what it's like, man. You've got a fight coming up. You've got to train 2-3 times a day, and you've got to work.
Yeah,
that's shit,
man.
No way. That's hard. That's hard.
Well, actually, on this amateur level they competed in, they were doing that. You go to work, come back to the gym after work and train, and they won. But to push up next level, you need to quit your work.
You do, because you're coming up against someone who's training, going home sleeping, coming back again, right? It's different when you do it.
If you want to fight in Cage Warrior or PFL, because I have a lot of connection in Dubai and Kuwait and this kind of these countries, this region. Have a lot of friends from back then, and all of them they said for Abu Dhabi Warriors. They called her for Abu Dhabi Warriors. Said bring her Abu Dhabi Warriors, bring her Brave in Bahrain. But the problem is, she goes to work and she does she got 2-3 jobs as well.
Yeah. So
to provide. So
it's tough, isn't it?
When I'm gonna train her, a couple of hours before she sleeps, it's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah.
And you're almost better off not because you want to sleep anyway.
Exactly.
You need to rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to rest.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
So at the moment, nothing serious here from my team now. But hopefully in the future,
we'll revisit this and we'll do this again in a year, and you'll have UFC fighters and all sorts. But mate, listen, I really appreciate you, and we'll get some training in at some point for sure. I'd love to come train with you and the guys, and we get it.
Sure, man.
Before we finish, mate, I always ask the most important question. This decides whether we stay friends or not. Which football team you support?
Oh, I'm not into
Chelsea,
football
very
so
good,
much.
my guy.
I was just gonna say Liverpool.
Don't say that. It's a dirty word around here.
That,
I always finish with a fist up like this, mate.
Yeah, okay.
Squeeze the neck.
Squeeze
Boom.
the neck.